Matthew, that's the end of his statements. When he was coming to the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him, and he was teaching, and he said, "By what authority do you these things?" That's where Luke picks up. "And it came to pass that on one of those days, as he taught the people in the temple and preaching the gospel, the chief priests and the scribes came upon him with the elders, and spoke to him, saying, Tell us, by what authority do you these things?" Mark, however, has added statements. "And when you stand praying, forgive, if you have anything against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive your trespasses." Now that sounds exactly like the Sermon on the Mount, and where I combined somewhere else with Luke, I don't remember. So I am going to move that. Matthew 21:23, "And when he was come into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him as he was teaching, and said, By what authority do you these things?" Mark, "And they came again to Jerusalem, and as he was walking in the temple, there came to him the chief priests and the scribes and the elders, and say to him, By what authority do you do these things?" Luke, "And it came to pass that on one of those days," Mark, "and they come to Jerusalem, and as he was walking in the temple," it already mentioned that it's the next morning. Matthew, "And when he was come into the temple." So, since it already has mentioned in the morning, so it's clearly the next day, I don't know if I should have this phrase at all from Luke, "and it came to pass that on one of those days," because it's going day by day so far in Matthew and Mark. So I don't want to say on one of those days, because then it would seem as if it might be a day later. It might be 3 days later. So I'm just going to leave that phrase out right now. It makes sense to have Mark. "And they come again into Jerusalem." And then Matthew, "And when he was come into the temple." Yeah, I'm just going to leave out the verse from Luke, the beginning, and I'll go with, "As he taught the people in the temple." Mark, "And they come again to Jerusalem, and as he was walking in the temple." And when he was come into the temple. So I can't have "when he was come into the temple" and "as he was walking in the temple." You know what? I'm going to have the way Matthew has it, and then add everything from Mark before it mentions temple. "And when he was come again into Jerusalem." And when he was come. So this "and" will be both. Matthew only. When he was come. Now again from Mark. Matthew is the in, part 2 is both. Now Mark, Jerusalem. As he taught the people in the temple. Because Mark has "as he was walking in the temple," it wouldn't make as much sense to say "as he taught the people in the temple and was walking." I'm going to say "as he was walking in the temple and taught the people." As he was walking in the temple and taught the people, yeah. In the temple is both. Well, actually that's not going to work. Luke has "as he taught the people in the temple and preached the gospel." There's already an "and" here. It wouldn't be quite good to say "as he was walking in the temple and taught and preached." The temple is Matthew as well. This is the problem. Mark has walking, present tense. Luke has taught, past tense, and preached, past tense. As he was walking in the temple, Now I have to say, he taught the people and preached the gospel. Then the chief priests and scribes showed up. I think I have to save as he before was walking. So it could be, and when he was come into Jerusalem and was walking in the temple as he taught the people and preached the gospel. Yeah. So I'm going to move as he to after the temple. And as he was come again into Jerusalem and was walking in the temple as he taught the people and preached the gospel. So it's a very long introduction. Then the chief priests and the scribes. I could have either way now. The chief priests and scribes came upon him. I could have there come to him the chief priests and scribes. Or from Matthew, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him. Oh, look at that. Matthew also has teaching. As he was teaching. This is just getting more and more fun. I think it's a good introduction. It's a good flow the way I have it now. It took me a lot of thinking to figure out how to get it to sound like this, but now that I have it, I think it's actually better because taught matches with preached in past tense. And if I put teaching instead of taught so that it would match walking, I would have preached all by itself. So I would have to have it and was walking in the temple and teaching the people as he preached the gospel. And it wouldn't really make any difference. I'd move the as he to be after teaching the people, whereas now it's before taught the people. I don't think it's a big deal either way. And Matthew, it's kind of out of order because they have a bit of an introduction. He's in the temple, then the others show up as he's teaching. The introduction of what he's doing is in the beginning in Mark. And Luke, because Luke says, as he taught the people in the temple and preached the gospel, then they come up. So I'm going to keep it in that context. Came to him as he was. As he. So that as he is now all three. So I could put was here before was walking. And I'm leaving out teaching. I'd either have to leave out teaching or the word taught. I'm just going to leave it how it is. Walking as he taught and preached. That's fine. Now, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him. I think I'm just going to go with the majority witness. Matthew and Luke both have who, the chief priests and scribes, came upon him. Instead of there came chief priests, scribes, and elders. So the before chief priests. So the is all three. Okay. The chief priests. The chief priests, the scribes, and the elders. Yeah, I'm going to do all those without commas the way Luke has it. I know Mark has them all together, but because I don't want the commas, I'm actually not going to do that anymore. Chief priests and the scribes. With the elders and the elders. I'm just going to go with the most creative. That's Luke. Chief priests and the scribes came upon him with the elders. I don't know why there's a separation of the elders to be at the end. Mark has the elders at the end. Matthew has the elders at the end. Mark and Luke have scribes in the middle. Since I want to have all three, it's either Mark or Luke, and I don't want the commas like in Mark, so I'm going to go with Luke. And the scribes. I'll say and is all three. The scribes is Mark and Luke. Came upon him. Came is not in Mark, but it is in Matthew. Elders of the people is added in Matthew, but I'll have that after elders like it is in Matthew. So, came. Matthew and Luke. Matthew has to him, Mark has to him, Luke has upon him. They're just arriving. So I'll go with Matthew and Mark, 2. Luke does have with the elders. So with is only Luke. The elders. That's all 3. Matthew has of the people. And when he was come again into Jerusalem, and was walking in the temple, as he taught the people and preached the gospel, the chief priests and the scribes came to him with the elders of the people.